let's start here. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. I figured we'd start with how everyone's doing. And just... Oops. There we go. But yeah, how is everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing good. I think the stream will be a bit behind when I'm saying so. Obviously you guys, I won't see your questions till maybe like a minute later. Unfortunately, I do not have the greatest internet for this, but hey ho, it still works. I'm glad to see that, we got quite a few of you in to see. And, well, I'm quite happy to be sharing some things with you guys and just showing how, willing we are to be transparent with everything. Our biggest aim is to improve on just everything and hope that none of what's happened in the past happens again. And the best way to do that is to improve and actually do it. So that is what we're doing. So throughout the stream, I've got a couple of things to show, just so you can actually see, and then I've got just some things that for us to discuss, like just talk about, and I'll let you know that way. Then, at the end, if you guys have suggestions on what I've said, or you have any questions, or maybe you have suggestions on something else, now will be the time to ask, because I can answer and definitely will go for it. So hopefully you guys are up for that, because I am. I'm pretty excited about it. There's so many of you that love Primeval, and I'm so happy that there is so many of you that do, and I hope we can keep going with that, definitely. Okay, so I think we will start off by doing some show and tell. Let's just go for that. So let's get the scenes changed. So first of all, we're going to go over to switch. We're switching to this, and I will go through it with you so you can see. I'm just going to try and let the stream catch up a little bit. I hope switching slides isn't too hard on here. Oh, there we go. It's caught up. Okay. So, the reason why I'm showing you this, obviously names are blurred out, so that it's fair on them to not know who's had lots of strikes. But at the top, it shows you a picture of the system we have been using to track how many strikes people have. It shows when they got it, and it shows which admin last handled the situation. Obviously, the list is bigger than this, but I didn't need to put the whole list. You can get the gist of what the idea is here. So you can see who last handled the situation. You can see what date they got the strike, so that if you need to go to that specific strike, it tells you the date. You can go to the report channel and check the report. Obviously, before reports are actually concluded, then we check here to see if they've had a strike before, so we know what punishment to give. So right now we are constructing this so that it's easier to read, so it's easier to understand, so it's faster as well. Because obviously it's really important to know if someone has had strikes before, because we don't want people as something that has been happening, and I'm not going to hide that it has happened. It's never been in a way where it's purposefully done to be a bad thing, but people have had more than a couple of warnings, which shouldn't really be the case. And I definitely I admit that that shouldn't be the case. So we're working on this now. And we're showing this because I wanted you guys to see what sort of thing we have been working with um, to have this information. So it needs to be much better. Um, and we're going for that now. Right now I've changed so that each and every strike has who handled each situation so that we know we can pin it down a bit better. I think a whole new table needs to be made for it, and it needs to be better accessed. And it's also now understood with all staff as well that they really need to make sure that they're checking out this table. Not that they weren't doing before, but or just so we can be, you know, more strict with it, basically. So that's our table, and you can kind of see how ugly it is too. I mean, it's not the best, it's not the worst. It just needs to be better. So the report system, I think as well, a good thing to have would be report discussions, to have as something to stay in that discussion, that only people that were involved in the report should actually be responding, to get people that want to just argue with those people that did the report. I think it should just be people that were involved in the report. If they want to discuss it between each other, solve it out between each other, so there's no hard feelings between that, then that's fair. Or if they wanted to get an opinion out on their side, then they most certainly can in that way. But what do you guys think to have in the report discussion just the people that are involved in the report to actually discuss it? Like, what do you guys think on that? Do you think that's a good thing to have, or do you think anyone should be able to go for it? Be interesting to see what you guys think on that. To be fair, it is a shame my internet's not the best. I mean, I don't know whether it would be better on Twitch, but never mind. Also, let me know if you can hear me clearly. I think maybe I don't know how quiet we can get this. To be fair, let's just while we're doing the waiting bits, you have to blame my internet. I'm afraid it's not great. Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys think? It's all coming through now. God damn, I need better internet. Yeah. Okay. For anyone that wasn't here, like when I said at the start, obviously the whole point of the stream is to show how much we are with being transparent. We're not trying to hide anything or anything like that. We have been working on things, and we always have been working on things. It's just some of those things were never followed through that well to show, and obviously it did create a lot of people to, get angry, and it's completely understandable because it is really annoying. Um, but we're improving on that. Yeah, people's Steam IDs always stay the same even if they change their name. Um, and it can be tracked. If people change their Discord name, we get notified if they change their name. So we know who those people are. I'm hoping this music isn't too loud. Oh, there we go. So I will. While we're on the report and sort of things, so the strike system we have, I think the strike system we have is actually pretty perfect and it's pretty solid. It's just that we need to be strict with it, really stick by it and use it. And that's why we need a really good system to store these things. It's just, it is a bit hard with certain systems to have. We don't have like a forum or anything like that where it's easy to store. We have documents, it's just we need a good way to have it. So we are working on that at the moment. And, if you guys, when we have finished with it, if you guys want to see it, then you can, most definitely. But yeah, I do think our strike system's pretty solid. It just needs to be really stuck by so that people can't get the same strike over and over again. We don't want people getting away with it and making other people unhappy. We want everyone to be happy that's here. It's always a known fact that you can never make everyone happy, but if it's due to toxic players, then we definitely don't want that, and we want to avoid that again, to ever happen again, definitely. And hopefully, it's going to be shown more and more now by us that we really do mean that, and we are really trying. We all work really hard. I've been working really hard to make sure that we're getting things better. The whole Discord, the server, and everything. We are trying our best. I think we can move on to the next scene, which is to do with staff guidelines. So I wanted to show this to you guys because I think it'd be good for you guys to see what the admins, moderators, what they all look at. So these guidelines are fresh at the moment because we did have a big staff guideline booklet, but I wanted to get some basic guidelines down as well to have in our Discord server. So there's more that will be added. So it improves to show what's sort of expected as well, what they need. That's what they follow. So they follow obviously the rules that you guys follow, but these are the set of rules they've got at the moment, which are all being worked on all the time. Things are being added, things being changed, just to give a clear view on it. And you guys can also, I think it's nice for you guys to also see. I think I'm about to get eaten, Niall. So what do you guys think of these guidelines? I'm still not. I don't know how I'm still not fully awake. I'm okay. I'm just this tone of voice always comes out when I'm trying to state stuff. This music's annoying me now, so I'm gonna have to mute it. But what do you guys think of the guidelines? I know, me and quite a few of the staff have been going over them. I've been going over, talking with each of them about like the guidelines, targets for, because I'm still somebody that's very against a timesheet. So, and this is the thing about staff activity, because there's no doubt in mind, and I know each and every staff member would be happy saying it too. Is that we haven't always been the best at being active. We haven't been the worst, but we haven't been the best. Um, but you've got to understand as well, even though there are times where we could have been better, there are times where it can't be helped because there is more things in life um, that take priority. There's personal lives and there's work and there's schoolwork and obviously it's not for anyone to say why their personal reasons have had to take them away from the admin duties because it's personal. And it's for us to understand that. As I say, there is definitely places where we could improve, and that's why now instead of doing like a timesheet where it's you have to have 4 hours a day, it's set as targets. And targets at the moment that are set are things like each admin is going to be doing one event per week, and it's a target for them to help with activity, and also they wouldn't be here if they didn't care about the community. So I know each and every one of them want to be here and help Primeval. You will start seeing more people more active. With the coronavirus calming down, people are getting a bit more eased off with work and schoolwork, so they're less busy. They're not going to be as tired after spending a whole day doing schoolwork and working all day and working really hard. But I hope that's understandable. Yeah, Kappa. So staff have the privacy rule does follow through straight to here, and as I say, we do have this big booklet that Biscuit had made. Um, it's just I think some of it's probably not as relevant now. In the booklet, some things have changed, which is why I wanted to get some base guidelines and get going down. So there is a rule on that. But the guideline says at the moment that things said in the staff server are to stay in the staff server because it's a place for staff to feel they can talk about their own, if they want to talk about their own lives and things. And obviously that shouldn't be shared to people. Otherwise, they'd say it in the lounge on the main server. But yeah, to answer that, each and every admin also, you will be seen as a target to be more active within the Discord as well. Obviously, you guys, at the end of the day, um, rely on us to help you in situations, whether it's a report or even if it's just you're stuck in a rock or something, or you just want to chat. Um, and we want you to know everybody, everyone on the server. Uh, all the staff are super nice and so easy to get on with, and they do work really hard. And I know that it's and it'll be good for you guys to see that as well. I know some of you, there's maybe a couple of admins that you might not have spoken to before, so hopefully in the near future you'll start getting a chance to get to know them and really get to understand how I know them as well. Because they are all super easy to get on with and they are super nice. So I hope for the ones that you haven't met, you get a chance to meet. Let me see, I have like notes and things so I don't forget anything because my memory is like a goldfish. Hmm. Let's see. So at the moment as well, staff we've been going through if there was anything they didn't know or they didn't uh, if they hadn't felt comfortable with doing certain things such as ban somebody or anything like that. It's gone through the point now where it's these are the permissions you have, and the strike system, just use it as they say, like a bible. Just as long as it's followed, then every person that breaks the rules are, you know, having those consequences appropriately, and all staff members um, should be feeling comfortable with being able to use those. So if they have to use it as a threat to stop somebody from breaking a rule, such as please don't spam, otherwise you're going to have to be muted, then that can be obviously followed through, which leads on to how we treat new staff, and it's improved each time new staff has joined. And this time, with the new staff that are incoming, it's going to be the best that it's been. So, oh, let me see. I actually did write down here. I will change. I believe it's display. I had to pop this one in a Word document. So when new staff members join, they are going to be greeted with this. Again, it's in works at the moment. This is the first one I've popped down. I've been doing this today. So there'll be this for each role, and what it says is it gives you the permissions you can use, um, such as muting members or having to kick or ban or um, anything like that. It gives you the command for it and the channel that it's used in. Then there's a rundown of what they do in that role, and then if they ever wonder, oh, how will I get further? How will I get further up? How do I become moderator? How do I get to that point? There is this where it says, how do I get promoted? Um, and these are things that I'm in particular looking for in a trial period, and that's initiative, teamwork, activity, showing how you're being unbiased, because that's one of the most important parts, is that you don't just look at one side, even if you're involved in the situation, to be able to look at both sides and look at the evidence given, and most important, kindness. The one thing that is said, and you saw in the guidelines as well, is for everyone to be themselves, because we are not admins to be, oh, we have the power, or we are we're admins, so we are almighty, or look at us. And no, we're not like that, and that's definitely not what we aim for. We aim for just be yourself and be among players, because at the end of the day, that's what we were at first. We were players with the IO. We played. We played. We know how the game works. We understand the game, and we were players once. And it doesn't mean we're not now. So, and that's how we want to treat you guys. Is that we play with you, we talk with you. We're not admins to have the power. We're just admins so that we can help. And kindness is a big part of that. So obviously, again, this is a work in progress, and each role will be added. So for new staff that join, they'll be able to see this, and one of the changes for when new staff join is that I'm going to be sitting with them. We're going to be going through each channel, so everyone knows how each channel works. They understand if there's any rules or guidelines that they don't understand, we can go through them, and we're just going to go through everything so that they feel like they understand, and we're here for that help if they feel like they're stuck. And that's improved along the way. We've gotten to this point now where we're a bit more steady. We're learning from experience, and that's the best way that I learn. I never had a community before this. I never had a server before this. When I started this up, I didn't know how exactly it was going to work. I just had a view of other servers. I had ideas of, I knew what I didn't want it to be, what I wanted it to be, and you don't always know how it's going to go. You don't know how to always do things if you've never done it before. It was very new to me, and it's easier to have a community that's smaller. And when it grew, it didn't just grow big over time. It grew quite rapidly, um, and it was for me to adapt to it, and I just didn't adapt to it as well as I could have done. Um, but at the end of the day, it's happened. It's got to the point where we're at now, and yeah, I've learned from that now. So I can really say I actually know, well, I suppose I sort of know what I'm doing. There'll be still things I'm learning, but there's things in place now where we can say, oh, that's in place because I learned from this situation. Um, and for example, this here is because I've learned that um, there's a better way to help new staff and even current staff that we have, if they ever feel like they need to see what their roles are, they can. So it's not just for new staff as well. Let's see, let's pop over to this one while I just swap over to here. I have an idea to run by you all. So I want your suggestion or your feedback on this suggestion. Just trying to get to the suggestions chat. Here we go. I don't know whether any of you noticed, but the lounge was moved up. I Someone stated that maybe it should be moved up, so I thought, well, I'll move it up and I'll see what people's reactions are to it. And someone noticed it like pretty much straight away, but no one else has mentioned it. So I wondered, like, did people find that better or not? Right, yeah, there we go. Okay. Screen capture. Here we go. You can tell I'm a bit of a noob to streaming as well. Honestly, so many things to learn. Editing, video editing, photo editing, streaming. So many new things. Okay, so here we go. So suggestion channel. So my idea for this is because obviously I know there's definitely times where suggestions aren't when they are sort of answered, but they're not sure whether it's been implemented. And obviously, if you've made a suggestion, you want to know if it's been heard, and that's like an obvious thing. And for me, it sometimes has sort of slipped past me on when doing other things and stuff, and I'm happy to admit that because it's the truth for it. So, um, but how can we do this better? So I have an idea for it. So is at one point I added the system in where we went through each suggestion and it got like a green, amber, or red. Um, but my idea is, and this involves you guys, is once a month, whether it's the start, the middle, or the end. We have once a month, we get in a channel where any staff are available will come in, and then any any player is free to then join this lounge, and we will all go through suggestions together. Any that have been made over the past month, we'll just go through them uh, all together so that you can hear my point of view, admin's point of view, and your, other players' points of views as well. We can go through them, talk about how we want, if we want to implement them, maybe change them up a little bit to suit it better for everybody, or maybe if we don't think it's a good idea at the time, we can go through them all together, and everyone can be a part of the process rather than it just being an admin process. Maybe it comes down to just having a chat, or maybe we want to do a poll about it or something. But at least we're all together to discuss these, and everyone then feels like each and every one of their suggestions have at least been looked at, thought about, and answered. Because sometimes they are answered by maybe just a player, maybe sometimes they're answered by one admin, but it goes no further. Um, and I don't want anyone to feel like they've not been listened to. Can you make a suggestion to alter a rule? If you feel there's a rule that maybe doesn't make sense, or maybe, as you say, just alter it, yeah, of course, like suggest it. The best thing about the suggestion channel is you can see what other players feel by reactions. And as I say, I want it to also feel like you have been listened to by by admin. So if you want to make a suggestion on a rule, you're more than welcome to. Um, we're happy to see it. We're happy to take criticism, and I know the past few days it's been said that we don't take criticism well, but that's completely wrong. We are very open to it, and we have had many discussions about um, not rules, suggestions and criticism, and whether it's bad feedback or not. Um, obviously the issue we had with it was how it came across, how it was put across, because there's a way to do that. There's a way to put across a suggestion. If it's a bad suggestion, we're not gonna throw tons of bricks at you for it. We're here to be better, and if you make that suggestion and other people agree with you, then to us that's an eye opener to be like, oh well, let's have a look at this. Let's really do it. Like they do. What if someone doesn't have a mic? A good thing. One of the suggestions made about that, Danica, I hope I pronounced that right, is that we have this voice chat, lounge chat. So if you don't have a mic, you can go to this chat here, and it's voice chat lounge. So that if you don't have a mic, you can talk to people that are in the voice chats. So you can still be there, listen, and you don't have to speak if you don't want to. But you can still put your feedback in, and you're really then being able to implement your ideas too. So when we're in a chat, we can have this lounge open too, to be able to read people that don't have a mic or don't want to speak in like a large group or anything like that. So and this was from a suggestion. Um, I believe I actually can't remember who first. I think it was. Maybe it was. Oh, it was Kappa. Kappa, I believe it was your suggestion, right? I had to go up then to see. I couldn't remember. Yeah, I believe it was Kappa's suggestion, and that got implemented because it was, a really good idea, and quite a few people also liked that idea too. So that's there for everyone. So what does everyone think of, being able to come together once a month to discuss suggestions, like all suggestions? Decisions don't always have to be made there and then or anything, but it's just there to discuss. And everyone feels like they've been answered and been listened to, because we don't want anyone to feel like they haven't. And obviously there are some people that have felt like they haven't been listened to, and well, we really don't want that. We really don't. So this is my idea to think forward of that. So yeah, what do you guys think of that? Great. Well, we could trial it out and see if it works, because it might not work. Maybe a month is too long. Um, it might be, it might be too far apart. So maybe we'd have to do it twice a month or something. But trial and error. We can give it a go and see how it goes. It might work. It might not. And that's the whole fun part of trialing it out. So right, this is the part now where I want to see um, what suggestions you have now. So, do any of you have any questions, any feedback, any criticism? Do any of you have any of that to ask now that I can hopefully answer to the best of my ability? Yeah, exactly, Danica. They would get heard, which is good. So let's change it back over to game. Sure. Inktanatu. Give us your question. Oh yeah, your suggestion. Cool. Yeah. Hit me up with this rule suggestion. Oh, it's nighttime again. Yikes. Then you'll be dark. We'd be just chilling with some suggestions. If you also if there's anything you feel like I've not mentioned or talked through that you've seen people have been unsure of, let me know. As I say, my brain's like a sieve. And are you going to look through all suggestions? Well, maybe not all, but from a point, yes. We will. Obviously, I'll try and look at them. We'll look at them all. We I mean, when to start it? I mean, what are we on? 23rd. So maybe maybe like tomorrow could be a first day, and it could be, you know, the last Sunday of a month. That could be the day. So tomorrow we could go through all the ones that haven't been answered so far. But yeah, so maybe that would be a good idea. We could try it tomorrow, try it out, so that, we don't wait more time and more things come through, and then older ones get left behind. So we might go back to the point where it was last officially answered by using that green, yellow, and red. The new map being Fenyor, Hugo. We changed to Fenyor just to have a bit of a change before the recode. It's a bit smaller, and obviously our player base is a bit smaller at the moment, so it's a bit hard for everyone to sort of get together and play the actual game on the big map. Incanon 2, with the body down rule, as far as my experience, the challenger will never get the body. For example, I was in Aloe once and challenged a pack of Utahs, and I killed one, so they just went back to the body. It depends, because with the body down rule, if someone was to challenge, it depends on what dino you are. And with it being a survival game, it's obviously up to your decision whether you think it's worth challenging a body. So like, if you're a Rex and you come across a few aloes, it's most like those aloes are gonna leave. They're not gonna risk it to they're not gonna risk it to challenge a body or anything like that. Whereas if it's the other way around, where it's a pack of aloes and it's maybe a Rex, they might want to challenge that body and go for it, and they might get that body. It's up to the Rex whether he wants to fight back or not. So it just depends on the player you bump into, I guess, on whether they want to risk the dino that they have or not, or if they know they can win. Um, But yeah, I think it depends on it, to be honest. But I do get what you mean. So because if you challenge it, then if they decide to challenge back, then yeah, you get their body. But you get a win-win situation at that point where you get a body. So go in thinking that, I guess. Um, but if you were to change it, what would the rule be for you to change it? Uh, Iktenatu. I'm trying to say that. I hope I say that right. But if you were to change it, what would you change it to? For me, it's a new map. Never. Oh, yeah. To be fair, I haven't. I played on Fenyor a few times, but it was a long time ago. I have no idea how to get around this map. My comfort zone was V3. That's my favorite map, but um, I definitely felt it was a good time to just change it up a bit, just with the amount of people we've got at the moment. Miss Mustang, did you put the daytime on Fenyor longer enough? I had to take longer days out because it was found. When I went into server files and changed the daytime time and how long it takes, it was found it didn't actually work, and then we timed it, and it actually made no difference, which I was really surprised because I always thought it genuinely worked. Um, and then I believe it was what do we call it? Dondi had said it also didn't work, so I was like, oh, brilliant. Well, there's me thinking we're getting longer days when I don't actually think we were. So that's really annoying because, if anything, I would rather have longer days. If I could have changed that. So we've taken out the name, um, unfortunately. I mean, I think I might want to try it again just to double check that the time change definitely doesn't work. I'm gonna double check it, to be honest, because if it just did, then I'll be a happy bunny. Um, but I think it's a nice change as well, because if you haven't been on this one, you can explore this map. There's the whole cave system. I'd say let's go find it, but it's mega dark, and in the V3 at least you could see shadows of further distance, but I can't see nothing right now. Um, yeah, I never really played the other maps. But yeah. As I say, longer days would be perfect. That's what I wanted. But if it was wrong, I didn't want it to be in the name, because one, that would be false advertising, and two, it wouldn't be fair to have it in the name if that's not true. So I took it out for now. But as I say, I'm gonna double check it because I really hope it works. So and I'm pretty sure we count the start of daytime as 6 a.m. and nighttime to 6 p.m. Maybe I don't know whether it's maybe a bit longer, but I would say from 6 till 6 in game would be a day. So I'll see. I'm going to stopwatch it and see how long it takes. Because I want that back in game. I do. Maybe in the recode, you can sort of change that. I don't know how much freedom we're going to get with the server. Because they've talked about freedom of uh, how how much variety you want to give players with their colour skins. Obviously, they're not fully set on the player cap yet in the server, so we've just got to wait for that one really to see how much creativity we can get into with it. Does anyone have any other questions on suggestions? Do they feel like I've missed something? Have they been worried about something, or do they feel like there's been something we've not listened to and made people unhappy with that I've not brought up and said that we're improving on? Because obviously, as I say, we want to know. I won't be saying this if we didn't. Now's the time. Now's the time to get this in. I don't know where I am. I don't know if we're going a good way or not. There's parts in Thenyor where there's pieces of land that just lead into a canyon with nothing in it, no water or anything. So you can imagine if you were lost and trying to find water, and you went into one of those, you'd be pretty stuffed. I don't know if anyone is watching the stream and playing, so I don't really want to bring names up either, just in case. Oh, here's one actually. Another suggestion that was brought up and was liked by a lot. I believe it was about 17 people. I believe reacted, maybe more now. Reacted to the suggestion of not having a permanent safe zone, but having set days on. And to also answer your question, RGJ, Primeval, um, having set days or day. So what would everyone think of having Safe Zone Sunday? Which, yes, is a catchy name. What would everyone think to Safe Zone Sunday? So there's just one day we take off the rule about not nesting, so we can allow nesting in the zone. We can have so then it's not on every day, and it doesn't interrupt too much of the survival aspect as well. But if you want a day of just chilling, you could have Sunday would be the day where you could go in the safe zone. Maybe we could have 2 days. We could start off as one. What would everyone think of that? A safe zone Sunday. Come to vibe, come to chill. Maybe you just want to nest in peace. With it only being one day as well, not too many people can manipulate it for growing super fast or anything. But yeah, no, it's Primeval. If you don't know this, the name was influenced from a show that was aired in the UK quite a while ago now. It's definitely not aged well. It was a show about dinosaurs and prehistoric animals coming in through these anomalies. Oh my god, I don't know if I said that right. That's a tricky word. Did I say that right? Anomaly? They came through anomalies and a set team like sort of just tried to get them back through it. But at the time, it was like such a good show. If you watched it now, it'd be like really cringy. It's not aged well at all. But that's what it's based off, the name wise. I suppose it depends on where you're from. Primeval or Primeval. um, Depends on your accent. Primeval. Casual player doesn't really hunt others. Yeah, so I mean, it gets a bit of both of everyone, doesn't it? People that want to hunt are now in a smaller map, they can still hunt. People that want to chill can still chill, but then Sunday sort of ensures that for that day. Yeah, if anyone watched that show, you know what I mean. Like, it was a good show for its time, but it's just not aged well at all. How is it not daytime yet? uh, I've just look at how many bushes around me, and I don't think there's water far away. I don't know. I'm not sure not sure about Fenyor too much. So, a lot of people have said party something. They've mentioned that one. I'm not sure where it should go yet because as I say, I don't really know it too well. I don't know what the popular zones are. Um, but we want it so it's not near spawn zones. But I don't know where spawn zones are in this one. I don't want it to be like hard to get to, but I don't want it to be easy to get to because you should have to at least travel to it. Jeez, where am I? Cliff Central. Oh. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Bushes are randomly spawned, I believe. I don't know if there is areas that are more fluctuant. No, fluctuant than others. Maybe there's areas that have more a better spawn rate. Yeah, Kappa, I think you're right, mate. I'm clearly too tired to be speaking English right now. Yeah, I'm gonna look into like this long day thing. It's only 1 in the morning. My goodness, it feels like it's been night for about 5 days now. Oh, it's okay. Well, in Canada too, with your suggestion, yeah, just ensure you put in what you would, what you would change it with, so that we get like a good idea of what you're thinking of when you would want to make that better, and then players can also sort of have that input as well to to see if they like it. I have been sleeping. It's the afternoon. I'm not sleeping now. I can't sleep during the day. Yes, well, it's okay. Arguments in the server are over. Um, so, do you know, there's no more staying awake for that now. I believe everyone we have now understands us. And there's just, do you know what? I honestly like. I know I've said it in announcements, and I've said this to staff as well. But there's so many of you that are so like you're just so like nice and so good to get on with. And even in harsh times like the past few days, where stuff's been going on, things have been said, and you guys have really seen who we are, and your judgment on it. I don't know why, I just that's just automatic that I did that. But like what you expect from us, and that we're trying our best to keep it going. And it's nice to see, from going daily players swindling down slowly, and stuff like yesterday and today, where we've gone back up a bit. Oh yeah, 1 a.m. for the game. It's actually nearly 1 p.m. For real life. Yeah. I assumed you said it because I sounded tired, but but yeah, as I was saying, it's nice like to see some of the player go back up to 25. Yeah, it's not full, but that's fine by me. You know, we've got players in that we've not seen for a while. We've got players in that we see every day. We've got new players in, and it's super nice to see. And um, if Banks here, he will agree with the time he said, he came to me and just said how happy and he was to see players be so nice to new players and help them out, and really make them feel welcome. It's And I totally agree. There's so many of you that are so nice, and you don't. You guys know you don't even have to be admins to help players out, because you don't. You can still be a guidance. You can still be a guide. It's super nice. I honestly like couldn't ask for a better community. There's quiet times with it, but um everyone is just, yeah, super nice. The things you share in gameplay and art. We've got people that are artists. We've got people that are gamers. People that have shared their pets. There's a bit of everything, and I know this happens in other communities, but I still strongly believe like we're a close community for the Isle, and I'm glad that we've got that. People that join will see it too, so that's nice. Next applications? Oof. Well, they've only just closed, so it's probably going to be for a while now, because oh well, just to answer that, Flagger, it depends on the situation, because if it's a harsh situation and an admin is dealing with it, if you're inputting and it's not helping, then yeah, you're going to be told to stop, because if it's not helping the situation, then it shouldn't carry on. It's not more or less you're being told off. It's just you're just being asked, let the admin handle this situation, because you know we don't want it to get worse, or it to like that person, if that person doesn't like being told to stop and they're also getting a player saying the same thing, it could become an argument or something. um, and when I say guidance and things, it's what's nice to see is it's not about people saying don't do that. What I'm referring to is people saying, when people are asking for help in the game, and it's just people going, here's the link for the Discord, here are the rules, here's, well, I'll help you get to a warring thing, we're the same dino, they group up. People are just super nice in helping each other. And I'm not, I wasn't just referring to bad situations or anything, because bad situations, there are times where it is better off being handled by an admin. But there's people that like to say, by the way, that's wrong, and there's if a person has said that to somebody, like, oh, you can't mix back with that person, no admin is going to tell you off for that. You're just telling that person a rule that's on the server. If they then don't listen to that, do you know, is it your place to argue with that person? Probably not. And do you want to argue with that person? I doubt you do. Oh, just a random question. Have you guys thought about server being a no rule server, or do you think will be worse? I have thought about this in the past. I thought about um like, because obviously we've got the sandbox server which we use for events and things. Because some events require, if you want everyone to be a particular dino, it's a lot for, especially if it's a busy event, say like 30 people or something. Each and every person to give their dino back, especially if it's non-survival. They have to, give make a request on it. Um, we have to, ensure that they're telling the truth, because you obviously, if it's someone you don't know whether to trust that person. If they might say that they're an adult Rex when actually they're a juvie Maya or something. So that's a lot of players to get back to their original dino. So the sandbox server makes that easier. But we have thought about a no rule server. And at the moment, with us being so quiet, I wouldn't want to split. I wouldn't want to split the player base right now. Um, and I'm not sure how many people would like a no rule server. And it's very, as you say, it's very possible. Like, it could bring toxicity. I know I hated playing on no rule servers because you just die all the time. And when when I used to play normally, because I've not played the IO the way it's supposed to be played in a long time. When I died, I always felt like I wanted some sort of, not an explanation, but it to feel justified, like you were hunted by a carnivore, so that's why you died. Whereas if you're a Dillo and you just you're sitting down minding your own business, and all of a sudden a Maya yeets you out of existence, you're like, what? Why? You know, but it's a no rule server, so it's not against the rules. And I think a majority. I mean, obviously, I don't know, but maybe a majority of people also feel that way. Um, some people like no rule servers, though. If we're ever bigger, I think we can definitely have a no rule server. I know Dondi's he's very against realism servers. I saw in one of his streams, he said he hated. He stated some of the rules he hated, and he's like, he doesn't believe in some of them. Like, he doesn't think they should be around. Which is fair, because, obviously he had his envisions for how the game's played, but he also wants server owners to have creativity over their own community and server. Yeah, yeah. Who was it? It was me and I believe it was me and Ursus that went on a no rule server, and we we were we were Dillos, and we just got absolutely yeeted by Adelmeyers for no reason, and we were just like, we didn't even know they were there. But again, it was like no rules, so yeah. But that's for us. There are no rule servers. Some people like that because you get to just sort of fight and whatever, you do whatever you want, which is fine. Um, Depends on what type of gameplay you like. Me personally, I don't like it. I I definitely prefer semi realism. Not to, you don't want to go full realism or anything like that, but that bit in between where you've got rules to sort of try and make it fair, um, I think that's a good way to be. Not everyone likes those rules, but that's why there's a majority of servers out there, so that you have a choice, which is fine by me. But you never know. One day, And who knows what the recode will bring for that type of creativity. Because there's going to be AI, so, you know, who knows how the body down rule will change. There's not going to be any need for the water rule anymore, because bodies will float to the top and float to the side. There'll be the drag mechanic, so the water rule will be non-existent. Rules have grown over time of this server growing, do you know? I think it's at a good state right now of what rules we have. Most of them are going to be yeeted for the recode, definitely, because a lot of them aren't going to matter. Thank God for the recode. It'll be nice to see some of them not having to be there because the mechanics are in place. But everyone, and that's really important, especially for if any of you are the ones that felt like you can't say something because it won't get listened to. Your opinion to us does matter, and as I say, we want to get better with us being able to answer those so that you feel like you have been listened to. They do matter. Don't think we don't listen to them. We do. uh, so don't ever be afraid even if it's bad, like, well, not bad, but you feel like it's like against or whatever. Don't feel like we're going to hate you because of it, because we're not going to. It's your suggestion, it's your opinion. You're allowed to have that, and at the end of the day, you're only suggesting it with the thought of improving the server. So, why wouldn't we want to hear your thought on how to improve it? There's nothing for us to gain from that at all. To like say no to it, nothing for us to gain from it. Does anyone else have any questions, suggestions, criticism, feedback? Does anything, from what not being said, anything maybe I've said or anything? The Deinosuchus. Will there be a limit to how many there can be? From what I believe, I don't think there'll be like a limit. We certainly can't limit, and I don't believe there'll be a mechanic to limit how many can join. Like we've said in the past, when we had a flux of Spinos, where there was just a crazy amount in the server, we can't say to that player that's just grown it for like 7 hours, don't be a Spino, because there's already 4 on or something. It would be unfair. Because there's no mechanic for it, it would be unfair for us to say that. But I do know what you mean, because there are times where it's there are definitely times where it feels like there's too many of a particular dino. Other times it feels like it's nice and balanced. Spino isn't. Oh, the Dino. I'm not sure whether they're. I would assume it's an Apex when it's full adult because of its size and its power. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure it's their 4th Dino they wanted to implement. At the same time of them saying they didn't want to add Apex is straight away. So it's like, is it an Apex then? I would assume it is. I mean, its size, and its what do you call it? Its nemesis is the Rex, so surely it would have to be. There are so many sounds going on. Who's around? You would assume it's an Apex, but it looks awesome. Sneaking through swamps, going from underneath. Is there gonna be? Are you gonna be able to like drag a player under the water or something? Like if you clutch them in your jaws or something. Because then, like, as gruesome as it sounds, is the oxygen then going to matter if they can't get free? Because even though it's a bit like a harsh way to die, it's a mechanic there would be pretty interesting. Wait, there's so many noises. I kind of don't want to do names because. Oh, there we go. Hello. This is an interesting skin. Oh, damn. But yeah, I'm assuming it's an Apex. I wonder if this is Navia. No, it's Bank. Uh, Yeah, like I wonder if does it affect like the dino's stamina if they float above water and not stand? Like, is it slow? Is it fast? You know, like how long are they going to be able to stay underwater? Because you know, obviously they can't breathe underwater. Um, there's the mechanic of rolling in mud as well. So is that going to go all over you? Um, so you know, imagine but then is it going to clean off if you go in the water? There's just so many things to ask. I tell you what, if no one else has any questions, feedback, or criticism, tell me like using one word, what are you most excited for with the recode? So one try and do it in one word. You know, is it a dino, like a specific dino? Is it the mechanics or the map or whatever? See if you can give it in one word. What are you most excited for? That's it. Who's in here? You know, make yourself visible. Who's in? Who else is watching this stream? Make yourself visible. Trudon? Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting dino to play, right? Definitely an interesting dino. Small as well. Um, interesting to see if they add the whole bugs mechanic as well. Like, are they gonna, for them to eat bugs and stuff? Eat a cockroach or a massive beetle? Then again, the dinos they have are not all in one time period, are they? So it's like, would they ever add if they're adding the Titanoboa at some point? If they're ever going to, maybe they won't. Would they ever add a giant bug? That'd be different. I mean, it's a dino game, so I would doubt it. Water. I'm going to assume when you say water, you mean the water mechanic of um that you float and you drag. That's what I'm assuming, but that's my assumption. I'm not sure how much. Oh, maybe the looks of the water. The beaches in the trailer looked really nice with the water. Me? um, I don't know what that means, Wolf. Oh no, yes I do. You're making yourself aware. RGJ, I'm assuming that you are just looking forward to everything. I'm really hungry. Oh god. Yeah. Right, who else is in here? Who else is in this stream? Say your piece for what you're excited about. There's no bushes. Oh god, now I'm stuck in a tree. Ugh. Oh, oh. That lag though. For once that ping don't be lying. Man, I hope they fix the way ping read is read to you as well, because it's not, it's not over 200 ping right now. Yeah, I know quite a lot of people are excited for the Tenonta 2. It does look like a really cool dino. That gameplay of the Tenonto running was really cool. They definitely got the animations really good for that. I know a lot of people are gonna want to play the Dino, and I think if anyone was still believing in the rumor that went around about it being a 48-hour grow, I remember when someone said that to me, and I said, no, that's not gonna happen. There's no way that they would have a 48-hour grow. I mean, if they do, yikes! But like, I don't believe it. I don't think anyone would want to sit for 48 hours to grow. Oh, baby version will be cute. Yeah, I think I in fact this is an idea I thought of like today. Obviously it's just an idea, and I was gonna ask like all the staff, and then obviously see what you guys thought as well. But what do you think of so say for example, right? Because I mean, obviously we don't know how new dinos are going to be like, so we don't know what mixed packing is going to be like. But let's just say, for example, right? There's no mixed packing, yeah. Like, I'm not saying there isn't, but let's just say for example there isn't. What what would you think to adding in what we would call like a comfort zone, um, which would mean, obviously, we know what it means now, but let's say it would mean this. So, even though these dinos can't necessarily pack together, so for example, the Dino and the Suko, so say, obviously they're apart, they can't pack together. And they can obviously attack each other and eat each other if they're hungry, but they're also water dinos. So if they want to be in the same environment and not be bothered by each other, they're not packing, but they're in the same environment. And we could, probably wouldn't call it a comfort zone, seeing as we have like the rule on, carnies comfort zones and herbivores comfort zones. But like, do you see? Do you know what I mean when I'm saying this? Um, so like they would be able to have that zone together because they're both water dinos. I don't know what in reality, I assume they probably wouldn't want to be near each other at all, seeing as it's a huge crocodile and it's gonna eat it. But they might still want to sit in the same lake. Maybe that Dino feels it's not big enough to attack a Suko, but the Suko's not bothered by it because who knows? We'll have the fishing mechanic, and that person wants to immerse themselves in what dino they are. Because I know some people are like that. Some people like to play like that. They like to immerse themselves with what dino they are. Because even though there's no fishing, some people as Suko, and some people have told me this, that they like to sit in the swamps because that's what they believe the Suko was their environment with. So that's where they mainly went. So I know there's a few people that like to be immersive like that. So you know, who knows? I don't know what time period they both belong, but maybe they would sit in the same environment and not be bothered. Because some dinos are like that. It's like of today's animal kingdom. Like there's certain sharks that allow fishes to be with them because they benefit them, like they clean them. Do you know, like so there are animals that are opposite food groups, but they coexist. Maybe that's what it would be. Like a coexisting rule or something. Coexistence. Yeah, exactly. They don't hunt unless if they're hungry, right? Like a lion wouldn't eat a deer if they already have one. Because in reality, they eat and then they don't need to eat for a few days. Is that right? I'm not a professional on the animal kingdom, but and some animals are different. But I know some obviously they don't need to eat for so long. The pteranodon's going to be so good for exploring the new map. Like it's just going to be amazing. I know. I think the last thing they've got to sort out is its landing. I believe. Oh my god, there's another Apache. Well, hi. It's like a metallic teal color. Interesting. Um, I completely forgot what I was saying now. Oh yeah, the pteranodon. Um, yeah, in a clip that I saw, you saw it land and it just face plants the floor, wings just spread out. Um, please make a rule about territory fights that would make a lot of fun, less verbal arguing. Yeah, it is such a cool idea. Um, It's just the only issue we had with it when we got this suggestion is like we really like the idea, and I know at one point Teutonic was had the idea and they were thinking about having it in place as well. It's just the only issue with it is that it'd be so hard to monetize. Do you know, like, to because no one can quite say what their territory is. No one could quite really I know my stream is far back, Wolf. I said this at the beginning, my internet's rubbish. Um, but yeah, no one. It'd be a bit hard to like. My God, I honestly can't speak English today. Maybe the recode will add a mechanic of territories because they did say, certain food groups will be in certain areas. So, like they might see more that sucos go towards one place because there's more fish there, or they might see a pack of paras because there's a certain type of bush that they fill up on better with. So, they'll be seen as territories for each dino, and maybe that's when that rule could be implemented. Yeah, yeah. Maybe that would be a good suggestion for the recode, because as I say, like when we got given that suggestion about a month or two ago, it's not like we disliked it or anything. I think it would just be hard to implement at the moment. As I say, Teutonic were thinking of doing it, and they sort of, I think they just sort of neglected that idea because I think they saw as well that it'd be so hard to implement. And the way you implement it at the moment with rules and stuff is you've really got to try and make it so um, people can't manipulate the rules or exploit their way around it to like kill somebody for no reason. Um, it's just that's why it's hard to get certain rules out, and that's why sometimes it takes time as well because you've really got to think about the big picture and the long distance. You can't just think short term. You got to think of everything. I see what, but I do like the idea of having territories. Um, a while before Biscuit left, he saw two big trike groups. They had to split because they got so big, and because I'm think it was because they couldn't decide on who was going where. They got aggressive with each other, and they were three calling. They did some hits, and like honestly, I was in voice chat with Biscuit at the time. He got so excited about it. It was so good. It was it was great to him. He got so excited about it. He was like, it's like a National Geographic episode. It just felt so natural to see two different herded tribes get aggressive with each other because they didn't know who was going where and they didn't want them to do some things. It was really cool. So I do think that idea is awesome to have territory stuff. As I say, it might be something that would be better implemented at the recode with new stuff being added. Don't you think the Apache is a such a good this is such a good model of it. It's got the little bumps everywhere. It's a little snout, look at it. You wouldn't want to be headbutted by that. That would hurt. Yikes. I'll still stick to the I'll have the best animations and the best the best art, just the best models, the best dino models out of any dino game I've seen so far. Not to completely crap on Jurassic World Evolution, the game, and I said this earlier, was that like all their dinos just seem dead bulky, and chunky and small. Like it does good with sounds. I really like the sounds on it. But no, yeah, I definitely think the Isle out of any dino game, like if you compare it to Path of Titans, like they don't have, by all means, they don't actually have bad models or anything, but I prefer the Isles dino models. I agree. There are some dinos that could, and hopefully they are being reworked as well. Like the Cerato needs to be. I think the Cerato needs to be the same size as the Aloe. It's like if you go to the wiki, the IL wiki, it actually tells you the Cerato is known for being a bully dino. But let's be honest, in the state the game's in right now, who is it going to bully apart from a Rex on a no alt turn server and Utahs and anything smaller? So, like, and the Serato needs a buff. Yeah, I mean, the devs, and no matter like what your opinion is on like Donny, because he is quite a blunt, straightforward person. So you might not like him as a person, but the whole team works so hard in this game. If they had it for free, that would be it. Just would be wouldn't be very beneficial to them, and they deserve like all the buys they get because obviously I know some people are bored of the game now, but it's still a great game, and look at how many people play it. No, it's not the biggest played game, but it's loved by the people that play it. If it was free, then yeah, I think they deserve to get the money that they get from it. Then they're working super hard on the recode. Camera, yeah. When I first played a camera, I thought, whoa, this is like this is a hunky piece of equipment here. This is big, and then you put it next to a Rex, and you're like, oh. Or you stand it next to a pew, and then you're definitely like, oh, wow, this is actually mega small. I'm pretty sure it's the same. The shant's is pretty much the same size, um, like lengthwise. No, sorry, like they're not as that tall apart from the neck, but yeah, they gotta make that money. And let's be honest, the recode, it's going to be an update, so we're not even going to have to buy the new update, which changes the game completely. Planet Dinosaur? I don't know what Planet Dinosaur is. Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, no, you actually put that in brackets, my bad. Slam down, like, so, like, it grabs it by, like, the back of the neck and just slams it to the floor. Like, just showing off really using those leg muscles and then neck muscles, because, obviously the Aloe did have, like, a really good bite. Yeah, like the Serato, I feel like it should be a rival to the Aloe. It shouldn't be scared of it, and it shouldn't be able to take an Aloe on easy, but it should be a rival. Like they're both they're both sort of a mid-sized carnivore. It's just that the Serato is way too small, and it's a bit slow as well. It needs to be faster. Um, but it should be able to take on an Aloe and give it at least a decent fight. I think most of the other dinos are pretty good. Well, oh no, actually, the only other thing is the para. The para is obviously this isn't a full adult, but the para is a is big. They're a big dino when they're fully grown. They are like big, but they're like 1 or 2 bites for a Rex. Now I sort of understand it, but I also feel like they could take on a bit more than that. Like I feel like for such a big dino to be taken in 2 bites, it always annoyed me that. It always annoyed me. Um, you sort of get it because like they don't have armor, do they? But when they're fully grown, they're big. I'm not sure, but I think made Sarah smaller because in real life it was not sure though. I always thought they were a bit bigger in real life than what they are now, but we could be wrong. I would assume they did their research. Which one do you mean? Do you mean the Brachiosaurus RGJ, or do you mean the one with the weird, like, it's got like a weird, how'd you call it? Like, under its neck, it's got like quite a big sort of, um, excess skin? I don't know how you'd call it. I'm assuming you mean that one. I forget the name because it's quite a tricky name. But I think, is it Magisaurus or something like that? I don't know. I shouldn't just guess because I'll be wrong. Hey, if you're new to the aisle as well and you hear someone say your water doesn't go down when it's the rain, when people used to say that when I was in groups, it used to annoy me because it's like, no, it doesn't make it stop going down. It just makes it go down slower. Yeah, I think that was a thing, bone break, at one point, and then they took it out because like things like Anki and like the Patchy should have a bone break ability because like their head is just made from solid. Is it bone? pretty sure it was bone or like keratin or something like that. Yeah, the sauropod. I can't remember the name for it. Yeah. It's that. Yeah, I know which one you mean. It is that one with the name I hadn't seen before and the weird thing on its neck that makes it look funky. Someone's gonna get eaten in a moment. I can see it. You guys are about to witness a murder. Yes, that's the one, Silver. Ooh, Para 3 calls, man. See, the Isle did so good on their sounds as well. I'm sorry, like, there is definitely flaws on the Isle, but it's still a good game. The sounds are so good. Goodbye, Ruben. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you get the game if you haven't already. Oh, not him. Oh, I'm gonna get. He's gonna get yeeted. Oh, damn. The Rex be fighting on chance. Okay, this guys, you're literally witnessing the murder of either a Rex or a Shant here. He risked his friend. Oh my god. This is crazy. Oh, there goes the Shant. Oh, they both died at the same time. No way. Maybe we'll just do a shocked face for this one. Yeet. That Rex and Shant just got yeeted. See, that's the thing about not having the impact mechanic yet. It's like you can just dying at the same time, and I know a lot of people obviously get confused with that. Damn, it sucks. I can't wait for that. You know, there'll be impact, so you can't run through people anymore. That's another thing to be excited for with the recode. Yes, NBN. Sorry, I didn't. I've only just looked at it because I was watching the fight. But yeah, the throat pouch. That's a better way to say it. Rather than saying, you know, excess skin reminds me of like Austin Powers or something. But yeah. The impact is going to be amazing. Imagine being able to hit something and not go through it. Leg break, yeah. Well, the Yankee needed to be reworked anyway because, you know, it needed to be a bit more. Its attack is fine, but its health is a bit yikes. And it should be a bit beefy, seeing as, you know, the whole top of it is just covered and layered in armor. Because, I mean, what normally, they'd be weakened if it was a Rex going for it, they'd weaken it by the head and then tip it over, right? I mean, I could be wrong. This is just me going off what I've seen before. They would then try and like knock it over onto its back, so then it could get its underbelly. I believe. I could be wrong. I wonder how fighting will go on since since like collision and stuff will be there gonna be really different. Yeah, it's gonna be different because obviously Utahs are gonna be able to latch on to like bigger dinos on the side. They're gonna be able to latch on and like bite away chunks. So you know, even if they're not like that hungry and they don't wanna they don't wanna kill it and take the body, they could just latch onto it, take a piece, and then do one with it. Like how cheeky is that? But it's cool, but it's cheeky. You could just, yeah, I just fancy a snack, so I'm just gonna rip out a chunk of your back and then do one with it. So you know, maybe Utahs really will become more scavengers. I mean, they're pack hunters, so you know they won't. But um, if we are like when we do have to go over rules and stuff, it'll be fun to go over if we have to have scavenger rules because you know things like the Trudon, the Compy, if they do bring the Herrera or the Ostro back, they are also scavengers. Unless if they improve their bite force, then they're going to stick to scavengers because they ain't killing anything apart from a teeny tiny taco. It might be OP. That's why they took it away in the first place because it was like mega broken. I think it glitched out a lot of stuff. Utah's getting yeeted in the air, people getting stuck. I would assume there'll be a stamina for how long you can stay on someone so that you can't, do you know, like you can't just latch on and stick to them. I know maybe they'll add an attack as well. So if it's something like, ooh, what has a good like net? If it was a Spino, like it has its neck a bit further out and its head could probably turn around and bite something off. If it's like near the leg, if it's something like a ferry, it could probably just get its claws back there and whack it off. So maybe there'll be an attack where you can yeet them off. You just get them off you. Yeah, Tenonto tail might just like whip it away. You never know. Like they've not released all the information they have with it. I think there's still so much that we don't know yet as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what they have, and that's why we want to do. That's why we do want to have a safe zone at the beginning of our recode experience because, you know, everyone can come together, everyone can learn the new sounds, the new mechanics. I know this has become more of a Q&A. Well, I mean, you know, I think at the moment we've got through everything change-wise right now. You know, I wanted to show some stuff. As I say, if anyone still has anything to say or ask, um, you know, you're more than welcome. I'm here to answer to them. At the moment, I think that's what we needed to get out to show, you know, uh, we're being transparent. We're improving on activity with staff. We're improving on how we deal with reports, how we're dealing with strikes, how we're dealing with players. We're improving on, as well along with the activity. You know, it means more events. Um, Staff are going to find it easier with knowing what they're going to be able to do. So I think we've got through everything we needed to. Or well, you know, I wanted to do this as well, so I planned this a couple of days ago after the second argument broke out. I just thought it'd be a good idea to have a stream so that it's not just some other announcement where you just see what I'm saying, and then feeling like it's just words and then air comes and that's it. I don't want it to feel like that because you know that's not the intention, and you know I don't want it to come across that way. So if this is the way I thought would show that we're not just about talk, you can see the things under work. You can see the things changing now. Um, you know, at any point, any staff member is always happy to receive a message from you if you had a question, whether it's in a DM, whether it's in the lounge, whether it's in contact staff or whatever, you know, whatever you want. If you have questions about anything, it doesn't have to just be on the stream. We'll answer them for you. Um, I suppose that's one thing we didn't cover actually. The suggestion that was implemented um, the other day, not the other day, sorry, last night. Let me just get the picture of it here. I see this is why note taking is great. We'll change it to the display screen. See one thing. So obviously we've seen this top bit. We've already seen that, but here. So the off-duty role was implemented. It was another suggestion. It was a suggestion that was put in yesterday, or not, and it got quite a lot of praise from it. And I also brought it to. I asked, you know, what Late Lux thought as well, and oh, I was reading that then. Yeah. So you know, I asked what they sort of thought as well, and I think it was a really good idea to say, you know, obviously, again, you've got to remember as well about that. You know, staff do this for with their own time. They don't get paid for it. We the only thing we ever do is, apart from me saying my thank yous, is we do a staff member of the month because it just shows, it gives appreciation for them just working hard and stuff, and you know we it's just a really nice thing. So the off duty role will show you who is off from from being admin at the moment, and obviously they will have state their reasons. So this is in our the staff Discord. So what they'll do is they'll just fill it out and they'll just let me know how long they're going to be away for, and they'll give me a reason. Obviously, if it's personal reasons, as stated here, it doesn't need to be anything detailed wise because it's personal. So I can understand that. And again, this is nothing to do with being approved either. It's just so that the role can be given. You guys will be able to find it easy to know who you can contact if you need help with something. So like you're not going to contact someone that's not even here. Maybe they're away and they can't help. So you'll know who's online and who's offline. So when they're off duty, it just means they're away for a bit. And just remember that that there is reasons. There is personal lives. There is holidays, work, or something. I believe it might be buffering at this point. Goodbye, NBN. We will see you around. It's nice seeing you on the server, dude. So what does everyone think about the off-duty role? Do they think they would find that helpful to know that, which staff are online, which staff aren't? Would you find that to be a useful information? Obviously, it's useful for me because I know how long they're going to be off for. Great. Well, oh, it'd be buffering. Not receiving enough video. Um, oh, there we go. I think connection is back. See, as I said, internet B, yikes. Anyway, if you missed what I said, about this, it's good to know how long they'll be off for. It's good for you guys to know as well, to know who to contact if needed. But yes, so I think I have discussed what I needed to say, what I passed on. So we went through, how staff are going to be integrated into the server with good information, helped out more, so that they understand things better, feel more comfortable with using, commands as well. The off-duty role, we went through the tracking system we have and how it's now being improved, so it can be better to go back, look back and see what players actually need to be correctly punished for if they are being toxic or just blatantly breaking rules all the time. You saw guidelines that staff to follow, so that staff actually do have guidelines to follow with the server, and also the fact that there's targets there as well for them to improve activity. So yeah, there is. I feel like everything was brought through quite well. I hope you guys understand everything, and I hope you do stick with us to watch us improve and get better, because that's what we're doing. We're doing it to be better, and we will be at the point where everything is smooth. There's been learning points along the way, and now we're here. We're at this point. So if you do have any more, if you have any questions, suggestions, feedback, criticism, or anything like that, we have the channels in the Discord for you to do that. So make sure you head over there. And as I say, tomorrow we can do the go through suggestions. So if you want to join us for that, get in there with us. Let's go through suggestions together. I bid you farewell, everybody, and I will see you in game.